Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome back to our channel. Once again, this is Aryabhata from CIMAGE College, Patna, Department of IT. Today, I'm going to talk about Java architecture as a part of Java series. So first of all, we'll understand what basically the Java architecture is. Java architecture defines the components that are essential to carry out the certain creation and execution of code written in a Java programming language. The various components of a Java architecture could be source file, class file, JVM, as well as Java application programming interface that is called Java API. So in order to understand better, I'm going to share my screen to everyone. So in order to understand various component of Java architecture, we will discuss using this particular screen. As you are able to see on the screen, we are having two different part of this particular Java architecture. The first one is compile time environment and second one is runtime environment. So first of all, we'll be talking about source file, right? So obviously, as we know, Java is a robust programming language that enables us, or it enables a developer to build a wide variety of applications for different kind of purposes. In order to write a Java program or an application, we need to write a certain program, right? A Java application contains the source code that enables an application to provide its desired functionality as per the user requirement. And this source code is saved in a source file with the extension .java. Later on, I'll discuss in which manner we are going to save this particular kind of file that we will discuss in the separate video. So since we have created a source file, so now this source file need to be compiled, because whenever you are going to write a program, obviously we are writing a program in our human understandable language, that is English. So we have written every code in English and we have saved it as a file having extension .java. Now, computer cannot understand English language, as everybody knows. So in order to make the computer understand, this source code need to be converted into the computer understandable format. So that is why the compiler is coming in the picture. So basically, compiler does what? Basically, compiler compiles your source file, and after successful compilation, it generates a class file. And class file contains the bytecode that is generated by our compiler. Further, this file can be executed by any kind of machine that supports the JRE. JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment, right? So during the compilation time, your compiler takes source file as an input. It does the job of compilation. And after successful compilation, it creates a class file, and that is called as bytecode. Now, compile time environment job is over, right? Now, after successful compilation, we will go for runtime. So we will understand how basically this runtime environment works. So before going through this, I will discuss about JDK. So we can say that JDK is a kind of a software development environment used by developing the Java application, used for developing a Java application as well as for applets. So let's say if you're a Java developer or a Java software developer, you need to install JDK version with your system because you are going to develop everything in Java, right? So whenever you are going to install JDK with your system, your JDK includes JRE, as well as it includes Java interpreter or loader, as well as it includes your JVM, as well as it includes Java C, that is called Java compiler, and Java, which is the loader, which is helping you out to run the Java program, right? And apart from that, it creates so many .jar file, as well as it also install Java doc, that is called document generator, as well as other tools which are required for Java development purposes. Along with that, it install Java API, right? Now, let us discuss a little bit about about JRE. So as I mentioned, JRE is a Java runtime environment, which is an open access software distribution that has a Java class library. It has some sort of specific tools and a separate JVM, which is residing in the computer memory. So Java is one of the interrelated component in JDK, and it is the most common environment available on a devices for running Java programs. So Java source code is compiled and converted to the Java bytecode, as already we discussed. If you want to run this bytecode on any kind of platform means the machine, any kind of hardware, which is having a different kind of software operating system installed in that. So if you want to run any kind of bytecode on any platform, we require a JRE entered JVM, right? So whenever we are going to have the JRE, so JRE as a part of JRE, we'll be getting the JVM. So JRE does what? Basically, it loads the class file, it checks the memory access, and it's getting the system resources which are required to run a Java program, right? So JRE acts as a software layer on top of your operating system, and that operating system is a part of your, which is installed of your hardware. So let us talk a little bit about the JVM. So JVM is an application again. This is responsible for executing your Java program on any kind of computer. So let's say we have discussed, we have compiled this Java program. So we have got the class file. That means we have got the bytecode. Now that bytecode has to be run. So obviously it has to be run by the runtime environment. So you can notice out here, in the right hand side, we are having a JVM. And within the JVM, as a part of JVM, we are having Java API, as well as we are having a class loader, we are having a bytecode verifier. Along with that, we are having an execution engine and CIT compiler, right? So just we can follow this arrow. Once the compilation job is done, then we are going to run a program of Java. So at the time of running a Java program, it needs a JVM to run the Java program. So as I mentioned, JVM is an application that is responsible for executing any kind of Java program on our system, right? It resides always in the RAM, right? So if you are going to run the program of Java, so JVM need to be loaded in your target system, right? And it is specific for every platform. So I mean to say that we are having a different kind of JVM for different kind of platform. That means if you are having an Apple machine, for that JVM is different. If you are having a Windows machine, for that JVM is different. If you are having a Sun Solaris machine, for that we are having a different kind of JVM. So depending on the target machine, we are going to have the JVM, and it is specific for every platform as I discussed, right? So bytecode which has been generated during the compilation of a program, and it is the machine language of the JVM. So JVM is responsible for executing the bytecode and generating the machine specific code for the machine on which your Java program needs to be executed, right? So the major component of JVMs are class loader. So you can notice out here, whenever you try to run the program, so as a part of JVM, this is the class loader. Basically, it loads your class which you wanted to run. Along with that, it loads so many supporting classes from the Java API, which is assisting your program to run. And after loading the class by the class loader, there is something called bytecode verifier. So bytecode verifier is going to play a very important role. Right. So bytecode verifier is going to verify your all bytecode which has been loaded by the class loader in order to check whether your bytecode is intact or not, whether it is infected by malicious program or not. So once this class loader has done the job, right, then this portion is getting forwarded to the next section that is called execution engine and JIT compiler. So let us understand what basically the execution engine and G.I.T. compiler is. So Java execution engine acts as an interpreter. The real work is being done by your execution engine. So it loads your whatever class loader has loaded your bytecode to run, and it has been already verified by the bytecode verifier. So those kind of codes will go to the execution engine, right? So execution engine of Java acts as an interpreter that interprets the bytecode one line after another line and executes it. The line by line interpretation is a time consuming work, and it reduces the performance of your program, right? So, in order to enhance the performance of your program, there is a G.I.T. compiler coming into the picture. So G.I.T. compiler has been introduced by the JVM. The G.I.T. compiler compiles the bytecode into your machine executable code. So finally, along with the JVM and G.I.T., your bytecode is getting converted to the machine executable code, and then that is going to be run on your environment, right? So obviously, in order to run your program, it requires some platform. So as already I mentioned, as a platform, we need to have the hardware device. And on the hardware device, we need to have the operating system to run this particular program, right? So, and along with that, this API also, this Java API is also playing a very, very important role. So as I mentioned briefly, Java API is a collection of software components such as classes, consist of set of classes, interfaces, right? Along with classes, interfaces, it has so many methods, which is a part of your class, which provides the various capabilities such as GUI. In order to create, we can create a GUI, we can play with the date and time, we can play with the calendar, as well as related classes and interfaces of Java API are grouped into the package. So whatever software you have installed as a part of JDK, it installs installs so many different kind of classes, but all classes are not kept at one place. It has been divided logically in the form of packages. So that's all about today's video. This is just today we have discussed the Java architecture, basically how your program is getting written, how it is getting compiled, and after compilation, how basically it runs with the help of the JVM. Hope you must have liked this particular video. If you have liked this video, please press on like button. And if you have not subscribed this particular channel, please do subscribe this particular channel. And don't forget to press bell icon. If you press the bell icon, so whenever I upload my video on a daily basis, automatically you'll be getting a notification as and when I upload, and you will be able to see this kind of videos. And the most important thing is that you please share your feedback in the feedback section, that is as a part of comment. And if you have any sort of doubts, queries related to the current video, you can write your queries. And obviously, I'll go through the queries and I'll revert back to a query positively. So thanks a lot for watching this particular video. I'll be coming with another video on the Java series tomorrow. Meanwhile, thanks a lot and good night from my side.